Hello, I'm Deanna Herron, host of the Deanna Herron Podcast Show. Have you ever wanted to do something bold, like start a business, write a book, or go for your dream job? This show was created for women just like you who want to be bold, shine bright with grace. My goal is to educate you, inspire you, and empower you with ideas that can transform your life. Be inspired by the Deanna Herron Podcast Show at deannaherron.net. Hello and welcome to the Deanna Herron Podcast Show. This is Deanna Herron, your host. Thank you so much for joining me on this awesome Tuesday. Happy June, everyone. I'm excited to share with you my story and my journey today as an entrepreneur. And I'm excited to share this with you guys, because I know that I have heard from many of you that you are wanting, or you have this tug that you want to do something and you just don't know how to quite step out, or maybe you're stuck where you are and you don't know how to get unstuck. So today I want to talk to you about my journey as an entrepreneur, how I made that journey, and some of the steps that I was able to take. So if you haven't had an opportunity to listen to last month's series, Rising Up to Your Greatest Self, go back and take a listen. You guys, sometimes we forget what it takes just to step into our greatness. And I want to encourage you each and every day that there is something bigger, there's something better, and your light is made to shine. So allow your light to shine on a daily basis, you guys. So here's my story. So 22 years ago, yes, I can't believe it's been 22 years. I was practicing medicine as a physician's assistant, and I was super busy. I was working 50 hours a week. And I have to tell you, I absolutely loved practicing medicine. I loved it. I had worked hard for that degree. I was practicing internal medicine. And what I loved about it is every single day, I got to spend at least 15 minutes quality time with people. And every single person that walked into my office had something different and unique. And for 15 minutes, I had the opportunity to listen to what was going on in their life, listen to their medical problems, and then find the answer. And I have to tell you, that is my greatest gift in this world, is being able to sit with you face to face and breathe life into you and not just speak at you. And sometimes when I'm behind the scenes on this podcast, I wish I could just pull you over here with me and draw you in to my office and we could sit down and have a chat, because in between you and me is this computer and this microphone and the audio, the visual, all of that. But I have to tell you, my greatest joy is to be able to sit with someone and really get to know you and speak life into you. And so that's where I really found my passion when I was in medicine. But I have to tell you that what I realized when I was practicing is I loved it, but I was so busy. I was so busy that I wasn't enjoying my life. I wasn't enjoying my family, because I really didn't have time to spend with my family, with those that I love. And I've said this before, I felt like my family was getting the rest of me instead of the best of me. And so I set out and on a journey into the unknown. And that journey was becoming an entrepreneur, doing something that I had never done before, because I had a dream of having something different, of being something different, of having more time, having more freedom, having a little more flexibility, but being able to be with those that are the most important to me and breathing life into them. And that was my family. So what I did is I started a business. I knew nothing of what I was about to venture into. But I'll tell you what kept me was the hope. The hope that there was something on the other side of what I was currently doing. Hope that I could use my gifts and talents in something else, and to be able to find that freedom and find that flexibility. So on my journey, I began, and I don't know if you've ever experienced anything like this, but I didn't know the how. I just started walking step by step into the unknown with this big dream, this big goal, and a life that I wanted to create by my design. And what a lot of people have a tendency to think, and I'm going to tell you, I've had a level of success as an entrepreneur, I've had a level of success as a physician's assistant, etc. But I'm going to be honest with you. I think what most people think is that those of us who have had a certain level of success, whether it's financial, whether it's material success, whatever, a lot of times people think that we are just a unique breed of people. And I want you to know it isn't that we're a unique breed of people. It's because more times than not, we decided to make the harder choice. And so I want to walk you through how you can make that decision to make the harder choice. I want to tell you that 51% of the time, I just decided to do the harder thing. And that's why I was able to get to where I am today. That's why I was able to create my life by design. Is 51% of the time I made the harder choice. And so when I was building a business alongside my career as a physician's assistant, I had very little time to invest in my new journey. And so I had to figure out ways where I could do what I needed to do the harder things so that I could get to where I wanted to be. And so there were some choices that I needed to make. And so some things that I chose was during lunch, and that was the only time that I had a break throughout the day. So I started my morning at 6 a.m. I ended about 6 p.m., 7 p.m. in the evening. The only time that I got a break throughout the day was lunch. All of the nurses, all of the staff would go out to lunch every single day, and they would get a little break. Instead of going out with my friends, I made a harder choice. And that choice was to stay in the office and do the things that I knew I needed to do in order to have the things, the life that I wanted to create in the future. So I chose to do the harder things that particular day. And so, if you want something in the future, you guys, you're going to have to make harder choices today so that you can have that life that you want for the future. So I chose to stay in for lunch. And back then it was a bagel and yogurt and an apple. That's what I ate every single day. And I did some things that I needed to do to create my future. There were many times when my husband and I, some of the things that we love to do is we love to watch movies. And there were times when instead of in the evening relaxing and watching a movie with my husband, I had to make a harder choice. And I decided to read leadership books that would help me be a great leader in the future. I decided to, we didn't have podcasts back then, it was cassette tapes. So I would listen to cassette tapes to do the harder things so that I knew that I could become the person that I needed to be to create the team that I have. And so, what are you willing to do today? 51% of the time, do the harder thing. This is a hard one. When my kids were little, I started my business when my daughter, our youngest was 3 months old, and our oldest was 3 years old. And when I was really in the midst of building my business, they started their activities. There was football, there was baseball, there was dance, there was gymnastics, there was cheer, there was volleyball. There were all these things that they were involved in. And as you guys know, that when kids get involved in activities, there's a lot of practice. And I don't know where that comes from, but everybody wants to be an Olympic athlete nowadays. And so the teams practice quite a bit, right? And so they would practice, and there would be one or two events, games that they would have each week. And so I would sit down with my kids and I would say, you have 2 games this week. If mom could make it to one, which one would it be? Which one would it be? And so instead of thinking that I'm a horrible mom for not attending every single game that they have, I decided to ask my children, which one would be best? Would you like for me to see you play the Dodgers, or would you like for me to see you play the Steelers? It's your choice. And so they were part of my decision. And it wasn't that I wanted to miss any games, but I knew that I needed to make a choice for our future. And our children never missed out. I never felt like I was a horrible mom. I never felt like I missed out on anything, and they never felt like they missed out on anything either. And so, you guys, I want you to know that when you're building for your future, there's going to have to be a few things that you will temporarily have to give up in order for you to have what you want later on down the line. And I'm going to tell you that by the time they were in middle school, high school, I was able to travel with them every single weekend. Every single weekend. You know why? Because I was no longer practicing medicine. I no longer had call. I no longer had to do nursing home rounds on the weekends or hospital rounds on the weekends. I was able to travel with them and be present when it was most important, when they needed me the most during those teenage years. I want you to know that when you are going into something to better yourself, you're going to have to fight for your dream. You will have to fight for it because there will be times when people will offer their opinion. So I want you to fight for what you want in the future instead of giving in to what somebody else thinks, instead of giving out in to other people's opinions. There are going to be people that will offer their opinion about what you're doing. And I had many of those people. And I'm going to tell you that one of them was my husband. There were many, many times because I had a very steady income as a PA. And God love him, we were still paying on my school loans for when I went to PA school, when I went to undergraduate school. And so he saw that we had a very steady income in medicine. And so there was a little bit of fear that I was jumping into entrepreneurship. And I have to tell you, I fought for the dream that I had for our family. I fought for it. And he eventually started to walk side by side with me on this journey. A harder choice. This will be a hard one. You need to choose to believe in yourself when nobody else believes in you. Believe in yourself. And I'm going to tell you how you can believe in yourself. You have to go back to that initial thought, that initial tug in your heart where you knew there was something else out there for you. You have to go back to that because when times get hard, you have to remember that tug was not just a tug that was make believe. That thing that you knew that you needed to do was not just something that you made up in your mind. That was something powerful within you that was telling you, you need to go for this. You were created for more. Create your life by design and jump into it with both feet. Believe in yourself. Make the harder choice to believe in yourself when nobody else does. That's hard. That was really hard. And there were many times when I had to stand toe to toe with my own self and say, Deanna Herron, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. You are not going to turn around and go in the other direction. You believe in yourself because when nobody else believes in you, you believe in you because you know what it takes. You know what you have within you. Get back up. Do the hard choice. Make the harder decision. Get back up. Get back in the arena. And I'm going to tell you to do the same. Get back up, stand back up, get in that arena and fight for what you want. You are worth it. You're worth it. And I'm going to tell you your future family, what you have in store for your family, they're worth it. They need you. They want you to be more present. There are things that you can do in your future for your family. There are people that are waiting for you to step up, to stand up for yourself, and waiting for you to make a difference in their life. You have no idea. I'm going to tell you, every single time I am present with my team, I have the opportunity to look at the faces of the people that are a part of my team today. And I look at their faces and I think, what if I would have quit? What if I wouldn't have made the harder choice? Those people wouldn't have choices today. And when I was starting this business, I had no idea that that was going to be my reality. I want you to know that's your reality. There are future faces out there that are waiting for you to step up and make the harder choice. And so, what are you waiting for? It's not just about you, you guys. And when we decide, well, maybe this is something I can't do, maybe I'm going to quit, that's about you. That's not about the future people that are waiting for you to impact. So, I want you to ask yourself today, every time you walk through a situation, every time you sit down to create your future dream, every time you get discouraged, every time you get distracted, every time you even doubt yourself, I want you to ask yourself, am I making the harder choice right now? Because every time you decide to make that harder choice, you are taking a step forward in the direction of your dreams. And so I believe in you. If you haven't had anybody that has told you that today, I want you to know I believe in you. I believe in what you can create. I believe in your future and the people that you're going to impact because you are created for greatness. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was such an honor to be able to be with you on this Tuesday. As always, I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for reaching out. It just absolutely warms my heart to hear how you're loving this podcast, what you would like to hear on future podcasts. So go and send me a message on Instagram. It's at Deanna Herron. That's my handle. And I answer every direct message personally. So I'd love to hear from you. If you are not already a part of Deanna's Diamonds, go to deannaherron.net and just press on the little Facebook icon, and it will automatically send you to Deanna's Diamond, and I will just accept your request. It's a group of amazing women who are wanting more, who know that they're created for more, and are wanting to make the harder choice. And we encourage each other, we empower each other. I go live, I share success tips, etc. So I'd love to have you be a part of that private Facebook group. You guys have an amazing Tuesday. And as always, shine bright. Shine bright.